And we have Special Assistant on African First Ladies Peace Mission, Myro Al-Makura, to talk about access to a child-friendly justice system in Africa as we mark the Day of the African Child today. Good to have you join us, Your Excellency. Now, let's look at the issues around the African child. How would you say we have failed in terms of being able to get justice for the African child?
Thank you so much for having me. It is worth mentioning that given the global situation where we are today, different countries within the African continent have different ways of approaching this justice system for the African child, and laws are being enacted. Laws are being enacted following the Convention of the African Child and the African Charter for the Right of the African Child. So, however, enacting laws and enacting laws are not enough. We have to implement it, because when we enact laws and they are not being implemented, it's as good as not having laws at all. So we have to put in more effort to make sure that these laws are being implemented and are fully covered by the law.
So what are the challenges to ensuring that these laws are implemented? For example, in Nigeria, only a few states have enacted the Child Rights Act, and some states haven't. So what are the challenges?
Like I said, not all, yes, like you've just rightly said, not all states have enacted these laws. The very few ones that have enacted them are not even doing very well. So we need to have a very strong law in place to be able to convince them or force them to do what is doable, so that the African child or the Nigerian child will be properly taken care of in the justice system.
So when you look
at, to be at par with the international child or international children.
So when you look at where we are now, how are we also faring in terms of the SDGs as it relates with children? Do you think that we'll be able to meet up that 2030 target?
Please come again.
I said, when you look at where we are now as a country and as a continent, how are we faring when it comes to the sustainable development goals as it relates to children? Do you think that we'll be able to meet the 2030 target?
We actually were not meeting it, but we are getting there gradually. And with some few push around with the legislatures and religious leaders, traditional rulers, we'll be able to get to the goal by 2030.
Okay, so let's also look at some of the issues bedeviling children, especially in Nigeria and even around Africa. We'll look at girl child education, child labor, the mortality rate amongst children. What can be done to ensure that these are issues of the past?
In addition to the laws protecting the children, we are working with different development partners to be able to subsidize and even give free education, especially for the girl child, because once you get it right with the girl child, it has a multiplying effect. So once we get it right with the girl child, get her free education to the secondary school level, I think we'll be able to do very, very well in terms of.
Thank you so much.
And also the mortality rates has really improved.
All right, Special Assistant on African First Ladies Peace Mission, Myro Al-Makura. Many thanks for talking to TVC News.